About 2 months ago, I made a video on a creature capturing Roblox game. No, a upcoming creature capturing Roblox game, Eleon Adventures. And at the time of the video's release, I barely had anything to work with, being a few gameplay clips and animation showcases in the form of Eleon reveals, when they showcased the new Pokemon things. Matter of fact, they were actually releasing those at a rapid pace, so much so that I could barely keep up and had to shove whatever I could fit in the outro. That being said, the limited content shown was hardly an issue, since those said few clips and animations was more than enough to give me plenty of hope and promise. Until it didn't. The leaks slowed down, and like most things, I got less interested. And it's not like I completely lost hope, as shown by my unwillingness to remove their Discord server tag from my profile. There you go. Yeah, it totally wasn't because I didn't know how to remove it. Months go by, and I've almost forgotten about the game, occasionally getting a comment or two on my video. Comments usually are boiled down to people being excited and hopeful, people preying on its downfall and even comparing it to its predecessors, and people being skeptical if the game would truly be as phenomenal as I was making it out to be. Because, I went back to watch the video, and man, let me tell you something. I couldn't watch the whole thing with a straight face. I was glazing it. I was glazing it. Curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to revisit their Discord server to see if they have betrayed my trust and completely abandoned the game. And boy, I couldn't have been more wrong.
Drop it.
Okay, that's too much. Let me break things down into more digestible segments, starting with, quite literally, the biggest and most notable addition to the Eleon verse, the Legendaries and Cutscenes. The legendary and mythic concept idea, or whatever, is such a fundamental pillar in the creature capturing space, for obvious reasons. The best of the best, the coolest of the cool, super overall just having the most aura. And coming off the already super cool regular Eleon designs, I had really high hopes and expectations. And they have surpassed that tenfold. I mean, glaze aside, there's no denying their phenomenal designs, except for High Ride. He doesn't really count, since he's technically a mythic, so he's not in the same category anyways, but he might have a cool evolution down the line,
but then again, there's like other similar sized mythical Pokemon that don't evolve, but that's because they're already super cool and going evolution, so maybe not in a conventional sense, but like
doing a quest or like puzzle. I apologize. I'm sorry. Being classified as a legendary obviously ensures great strength and phenomenal designs and amazing sound effects. But something Eleons do that other games and even Pokemon themselves don't do is have super highly awesome animated cutscenes to add to their whole legendariness. And as far as animation goes, it complements their already incredible Eleon animations, giving them more life and even interacting with the player. And I'm not really a betting man, but I'm willing to bet you were thinking that the cutscenes were very basic, like bumbling through botanical escapades. Except for this one, you actually are kind of just doing that. And I guess this one too. The rest of the encounters involves you, the player, getting your own hands dirty and throwing your hand. And while most of them has both you, the player, and the Eleon fucking aura farming and shit, it makes this one guy in particular look really weak, which I thought was funny, but whatever. I think it's really cool that we ourselves are actually getting involved with the battles, whereas in other games the creatures are doing all the heavy lifting. Except for Pokemon. At Ashes, they showed a fucking demon in the verse, duking it out with the fucking god. This is all really cool and stuff, and most importantly, it shows a lot of promise with their animation and animating capabilities. Imagine all the other things they could possibly animate. regarding the story, campaign, and what me personally am really excited for is the gym battles. I know it's not confirmed or anything, but I mean, come on, like, what's a creature capturing game without gyms? There's just endless potential revealed from these legendary encounter cutscenes. But something I've purposely left out of the mix is the music. This magnificent tune that is currently blessing your ears is, for me, the best legendary Eleon soundtrack of the 5 that were showcased thus far. That's right, there's 5 more! Or, wait, no, 4. Shit, I fucking can't do math. And aside from it being an absolute banger, the song adds another layer to the already stacked pile of signs that this Eleon you are facing is important and requires you to lock the fuck in. And in my humble opinion, it is the most important layer. Well, second actually, since the Legendaries designs are what people actually first think of when thinking of a Legendary, not its theme song. Anyway, point being, these soundtracks that come with the Eleons are what make them so memorable. Having their designs be cool and awesome is one thing, but being able to elevate them to that next level with a good song makes them super cool and awesome. I mean, take a look at some of the legendary Pokemon theme songs. The Lake Trios theme in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl is an absolute classic, and from what I've seen and heard, since I never actually played it, they were quite the catch, with its absurd spawn rate of 1 in 10,000. So when you'd finally encounter one of the 3 and are met with this fucking banger, makes that moment all the more memorable. But sometimes, it's not about how rare the catch is, but just how the song makes you feel. Reshiram's and Zekrom's theme in Pokemon Black and White does an incredible job of just making you feel, but not as good as this next one. And lastly, we have Rayquaza's theme song. Across all the games, no matter the quality, this song does a great job of making you feel like you've stumbled upon a god.
Alright, I get the point, Remy. But these are all songs from large IPs like Pokemon. Of course they're gonna be iconic.
That is absolutely right, random person I totally don't know. So let's move on to a Roblox game that has left an impressionable impression with just their music. I'm saying that because I actually don't play the game. Cool Kids Chase theme from Forsaken has got to be one of the best original soundtracks I've ever heard in a Roblox original soundtrack. It's really good. So much so that I'm willing to overlook the fact that it's a part of such a game that I'll never personally touch. It just goes to show how important music is. Having the power to leave such a mark on people who haven't even played the game.
Alright, I get the point, Remy. But Forsaken's game genre on Roblox is very popular and has a large fandom to back it. And even Teto is in it. Teto! Of course they're gonna be iconic.
Right again, random person I still don't know. So let's move on to a more niche genre in Roblox. Tower Defense Simulator. The one tower defense game that undeniably champions itself over all the other tower defense games on Roblox. TDS does a phenomenal job at turning a once seemingly boring genre into a action-packed one that many people can and have enjoyed. Getting many things right, such as its designs, animations, and of course, its music. Massive shout out to Focus and especially Enthrallist for making the incredible—
Alright, I get the point, Remy. But TDS is—
Okay. I'm sure by now, you guys now understand the importance of music. Oh, hey, funny seeing you here. Okay. Originally, this section was meant for showing off the various leaks that were slowly drip-fed to us after this video began production. But they unforeseeably started releasing a bunch of leaks, like really big leaks. I thought I could trust you, Glover. And at first, the leaks were manageable, like before. But this time, they completely subverted expectations, and just like Glover said, there was no slowing down. Dropping the entire freaking trailer and release date. See, before I was fine with the leaks we had. The legendary cutscenes and music was all I needed. But with all of this, where do I begin? As a quick reminder, my lack of confidence in the Eleon's developer team has led me to overglaze 2 tiny aspects, thinking that they wouldn't show more, and then they did! So, to not drag out the video any more than it needs to be, I'll do a fast overview of everything showcased in the trailer. I guess I'll start with the fact that there are over 300 Eleons! That is right, 300! Which is crazy to me because I was given inside information that there was 200. But looking at the trailer, that clearly says 300! Getting into specifics. Here are the classic starter Eleons you start with, all cute and full of whimsy. Then we have the Eevee equivalent of the Eleon verse, which is pretty self-explanatory, but in case it isn't, more fur, unlike the other Eleons, has multiple different variations of evolutions. This many to be exact. It's a pretty cool concept that I'm glad they were inspired to bring over to their own game. Next up is this pretty cool looking fish that I made out of rocks, pebbles, I don't know, mineral? I was starting to lose hope in the Eleon design team whenever I saw Basilisk, but this fish guy has completely redeemed the team, so I just, good on them. A new supposed legendary Eleon, the Volcanic Guardian. Although, if you ask me, he's giving off a completely different vibe. Similar to Groudon in Pokemon. Makes me wonder if he'll have any significance in the story, but I digress. Then we cut to Victorious. Victorious. We cut to this dude's encounter. However, I don't know if you noticed, but its colors are slightly different from before. That is right. There are confirmed shinies in Eleon Adventures. You heard it here first, folks. There are confirmed shiny. There's also a ton more in the Discord server, along with the rest of the Eleons inside the trailer. Massive shout out to this person for Massive shout out to this person for scouring throughout the entire trailer to find them before they were officially posted. I rest in peace. I feel bad. Moving on to the supposed routes and overall just locations, we got a better look at this beach/tropical one, along with this pink one. We can also see a bunch of Eleons roaming around, which I'd assume we'd be able to approach and catch. And check out these guys climbing, and this guy riding. And then we have the laboratory, where I'd assume our journey begins, like in every other Pokemon game, where we'll also get our starter Eleons. Moving on, something I wasn't expecting at all is a complete remodel of the in-game UI. I was perfectly fine with the old one, but I mean, the new one is much better, so I'm not complaining. You got the usual stuff, like the store, quests, travel, camp, and the menu. However, what is most interesting is this silly little pass icon. Battle Pass? I'd assume it's for the monetization and replayability. And speaking of that and replayability, they are adding PvP on launch. Not only that, there's ranked and seasons. I'm not really a PvP person myself, but I know that this is a big deal in the CCG, short for creature capturing game space. Anywho, going back to the refurbished UI, the first thing we are graced with is this quest menu, having the typical story, daily, weekly, and event missions. But what is it? Hourly? Excuse me? Hourly quest sounds like we're doing too much. Moving into what I assume is the camp menu, houses your Eleons on the side here while showing your inventory in the middle. And at first, I had zero clue what the consumables were. Wait, was that 6-7? Jokes aside, the designs for the different types of Pokeballs are pretty sick. Going back to the consumables, a thought that crossed my mind would be something related to cooking, like in Breath of the Wild. But I think the more reasonable use would be for buffing or leveling up your Eleons. Moving on to the Pokédex. I mean Eleonpedia. It's essentially a Pokédex. However, what sets them apart from each other are rewards for filling out the I was about to say Pokédex. For filling out the Eleonpedia, even for shinies. Last but not least is the bad guys. Or at least they look like bad guys of the Eleon verse. Having really sick outfits. I mean, come on, this guy's a fucking Pokeball on his or Eleon ball, disc, or whatever. You get the point. All being super menacing and cool and all of that, they don't possess nearly half the swag as my beloved Twink Barrel has, or the Team Rocket of the Eleon verse. And so far, they've done a great job at giving off the same goofy and silly vibes. On to something more serious. Is the lore. They actually teased several pages of the lore in the past, but I never really bothered to check them out. They were just regular English words, but reversed and upside down. I was a bit disappointed, but Granted, I think this is probably for the best, you know, yeah. Now, onto the last thing we see in the official trailer. Is this strange looking, Eleon? I don't know, he was giving me Hoopa vibes from Brick Bronze. If you look closer, the screen flickers 2 times, revealing different looking starters. Some people have speculated that these might be from different realities or even generations of starters, but I'll leave that to the theorist. For now, I think this is a good place to go to the conclusion of the video. From when I first laid eyes on Eleon Adventures, I knew I had stumbled upon something truly special. And just seeing the amount of stuff they've been working on and even dropping a release date further reinforces my belief that this game was going to be in the big leagues. But in all seriousness, I cannot stress how much I've always wanted to play a Pokemon game. And seeing such a high quality one that is essentially living up to its hype, I cannot be happier. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed, I thank you all for watching until the end, and I would really appreciate it if y'all liked and subscribed, or don't. Watching this far is already more than enough, but I mean, if you're feeling benevolent, you know, even be my guest. And in case you guys haven't watched the first video, here's a super cool outro song I sang that I will not be watching again. I'll leave it here for y'all. I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test, to train them is my cause. I would travel across the land, searching far and wide. Teach Eleon to understand the power that's inside. Eleon, gotta catch 'em all. It's you and me. I know it's my destiny. Oh, you're my best friend. In a world we must defend. Eleon, gotta catch 'em all. A heart so true. Our courage will pull us through. You teach me and I teach you. Eleon, gotta catch 'em all.